All right, everybody, this is Ross. Today's episode of Fruit Talk is live. What I mean by live is that we're not doing a live stream, but we're outside because we are in the midst of summer. We have so many fruits, so many things to talk about in this video that it just doesn't deserve, I think, its own little individual section, its own little individual video. We're going to probably break this up and make different videos as we go, but this will be a podcast. So if you have not seen my podcast, you haven't seen my yard, you don't know anything about me, we grow a lot of fruit here. At least I try. I try my best. We got grapes over there. We got the beans. The garden is not looking too great on this side of the yard, but over here, my melons, my tomatoes, my eggplants, my peppers, my cucumbers, my peaches, my figs, my plums. These are some of the fruits that we're going to look at today in this podcast. And we're going to talk about all these different things so that if you guys truly, I mean, what we're trying to do here is encourage you to grow fruit, really. This is our little spread. And I went away to Nashville for about 3 days. Bachelor party, if anyone's interested. No, I'm not married. Desperately single. But I did go there, and it came back 3 days later, and I have all this food. And it's special. And why is it special? Well, because we put a lot of work in to get to this point. And I'm going to really go through a lot of these fruits, show you some of these different plants, because I want you to understand that this is special. This is one of the best things on earth, I think. This is one of the best things in life. It's up there. And if you can have the ability, everyone has the ability, but if you have the space, I mean, this garden right here next to me is only 10 foot wide by 17 foot deep. So if you have the ability, and you should, because this is a really small garden, you can grow food, you should. So not everything here is peachy or perfect. I can't sell probably any of this at the store. Maybe these tomatoes would come out pretty well in a sale, who knows? But this is what it's all about, because we're picking these fruits at the right perfect time. I mean, maybe I could have came out here yesterday if I was here and picked some of these, but we're getting what we get, and we're really, really happy. We are enjoying this because I'll just show it to you right now. I'll taste one of these things. First up is the fig, right? How could we not talk about the fig? This is a Breba. Forms on last year's wood. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. And this Breba is a honey fig. It's got a really amber purple exterior to it. See, that just means it's a Breba, but this yellow amber interior, these are honey figs. And they literally have honey or nectar, fig nectar at the eye that I actually cut. You can't really see it, but at this eye, it had formed a glob of honey. And that's how amazing some of these fruits are, is that they will produce their own nectar. If you even take a grape, you grow a grape at home, you let it ripen on the vine to its full sweetness, because even at the store, they pick these grapes before they're really ready. The longer they hang on the vine, the sweeter and sweeter they get. To the point where I've had some of them, they form globs of honey when I turned them into raisins. There is visible nectar on these raisins. So let me try this. Oh yeah, that's real good. By the way, the birds in this one spot are having a field day. The bugs are kind of going crazy too. So I got to clean things up a little bit. This one here got pecked in by actually a snail, this melon, because when they're on the ground like that and they're finally very ripe, even the snails know, and they will penetrate into the shell. Let's do the melons because I'm so excited for these melons. They're one of the most difficult things to grow. I've had, great success with tomatoes. They're, in my opinion, one of the easier things. The cucumbers are a joke. The eggplants always seem to work out. This is like a ping tong variety, and a Chinese eggplant. I like to do with these, by the way, is slice them into really thin strips, and you can put them in the oven and get them nice and crispy with some olive oil and some salt. It's so good. The fat eggplants are just not for, that particular purpose. The big ones are really for all that flesh in the inside to absorb a lot of flavor and oil, sauces and all that thing. That's why you make like eggplant parm, different eggplant dishes with those. But these are for like grilling and sauteing. They come out so much better like that because the skin is just mind-blowingly good in combination with the flesh when it's nice and cooked. So this melon here, I think is this is an Alvaro melon. I have literally never tasted these. This is the first time ever tasting this particular variety. It is a hybrid, I believe, but it's a hybrid of a Sharon-Tay type melon. Woo! We have not had much success in the past with melons. As I said, they're probably the most difficult thing to grow. Oh man, this thing smells so good. I'm getting the seeds out. I don't have a cutting board, so I'm just really using nature as my cutting board. As basically my trash. The unfortunate part of all this nectar and all this sugar that's around, it's gonna attract bees and bugs and things, so I gotta be careful what I'm doing here. You don't wanna get too carried away. It's a Sharon-Tay. So the Sharon-Tays types of melons are a French type. We talked a lot about them on Fruit Talk, and these things are just fantastic because they are a cantaloupe, a true cantaloupe. Unfortunately, here in America, when we go to the grocery store and we get cantaloupe at the store, it's actually a muskmelon. It's not technically cantaloupe. In fact, there's really no such thing because the other type of cantaloupe are these where the flesh, or the skin, I'm sorry, is like a pumpkin. It's very soft, smooth. Whereas the muskmelons, like these two here, form this netting. And that's what honeydew is. It's a variety. It's actually not the name or the type of the name for the type of the melon. It is a variety of muskmelon. So there's two main types, cantaloupe and muskmelons, that most of us are going to be growing. There's other types of melons, but that's really what most of us are going to be or should be focused on when we're growing these. And within the cantaloupes, so within the pumpkin types, are French types called Sharon-Tay, and these have been bred for years, grown for years, saved seed for years. These are heirlooms, although this one here is a hybrid that they created. It's a Sharon-Tay that they hopefully improve some of the disease resistance, which, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, this is Alvaro, yeah. Okay, so yes, exactly. All right, so let's try it. It's good. It's good. Still not as sweet as I would love them to be. The fragrance in that is so good. I mean, yeah. Well, I hope this one will improve because it does seem to perform quite well. I was pretty impressed by it. It doesn't have any of the wilt. I have to find the plant again. I'm not entirely sure if that's even that. Let's try another melon. This is so awesome. Oh my goodness. Oh. All right, this one here is a passport melon. This is a type of muskmelon. It's supposed to be very sweet. Again, another hybrid. Oh, this one has green flesh. So the other one had orange. This one's green. Ooh. Oh, baby. All right. Show you guys the differences. We got the Alvaro orange fleshed. You can see that really awesome juice in there. And then on the bottom, it's smooth. And actually you can see the slug damage. But here is a passport. Ain't that a beaut? Woo! By the way, guys, our podcast is on YouTube and all the other podcasting sites. But if you want to see the video, you got to come here on YouTube. And this, the netting, is again what makes it a muskmelon. Alrighty, let's cut off a slice. Oh man, this one I'm actually really excited for this one. This is beautiful because the skin is like gold almost. It's like a gold mustard color. And then the skin or the flesh is green and like it's just and even the center is like orange almost. Still missing some sweetness to it. That's good. You know what? It's not like I picked them at the wrong time either, because that's the key to growing all these fruits. Enjoying all this experience, if you can ruin it by picking at these things at the wrong time. Now I wonder if some of these I should just leave on the counter, perhaps, for a little bit of time. And they may sweeten up a little bit, but I don't think that's how it works with melons. It may work with specific ones, I'm not sure, but the general rule of thumb is that with most of these fruits, when you pick it, it's got to be at that perfect ripeness at that particular point. All right, so then let's move on to these tomatoes. We talked about actually on Fruit Talk, I believe, in other episodes, some of the tomatoes we were going to be growing this year. What I have here is actually a seedling. This is a volunteer of black cherry. And right next to it, I actually have opal. So this was the key to see if black opal, and I think there's another one that I'm growing. Because they're so similar to black cherry, they say this flavor is exactly the same, the texture is exactly the same, but there's no problems with it. It's just so much better to grow that one for different reasons. It's more productive, perhaps something else. So I said, you know what, we'll give it a try. We're growing like 50 varieties of tomatoes. Why not, right? I'll tell you this though, this black cherry doesn't really look like black cherry to me. This black opal looks a lot like black cherry, but this doesn't. So I'm starting to think that this particular seedling that came up is indeed different than black cherry. I've had some other black cherry seedlings come up and they've been totally different than my black cherry plants. So I'm really confused because black cherry is supposed to be a pretty stable variety, but when I planted those seeds, or I've seen volunteers come up for 2 years now, they're drastically different. So I don't know if this is a fair comparison or not, but let me taste it and see if it even tastes the same. Yeah. Now here's the best part about black cherry and why I'm trying to find a black cherry tomato that might be better. It is my favorite cherry tomato. Reason being is that it's very meaty. It's like eating a beefsteak tomato. So that was pretty good. The seedling, it's not bad, but I think the original is better. Let's try this black opal. Yeah. That's a little different. Another one. I'm gonna be swimming in tomatoes very soon. Just check out how beautiful these things are. My goodness. Some of these are a work of art just in the breeding that has been done on these tomatoes. We have a pink pink Vernassage, I believe is the name. This is a striped Roman. I don't typically eat the plum type tomatoes or the paste tomatoes because that's not what they're meant for. But I think I want to try this one. It just looks so good that I feel like I want to eat it. Pink Vernassage is more of like a salad tomato, smaller salad. And this one here, I don't even know what this is. So that's kind of disturbing because the tag says it's something else and that it just is not true. So I want to make sure that I get a photo of this tomato because then I should be able to identify it later. Very strange tomato. Let's try it. That's quite good. A little tougher than what I like. No. It's not up there with the black cherry, so whatever it is, it's gone. Pink Vernassage. Grainy. Beautiful on the outside, but grainy. Not a good tomato. That's surprising. A lot of these tomatoes, guys, get a lot of hype for no reason, I find. At least with figs, the hype is mostly accurate. Oh man, this striped Roman looks beautiful. Yeah. It's definitely for paste. It's not for what I'm doing right now. You know what? I think pink Vernassage actually would make a decent paste tomato. We'll try it. We'll try it at some point. All right, let's move on to the stone fruits. And then we can maybe show you guys some plants. These plums have not been great. And everything is attacking them. I mean everything. Like rot, plum cucurlio, birds. It's some of these are fermented. The inside on a lot of them I've seen is just straight moldy. Oh, that's real good. Whoa. So for me, I haven't had plums. I've had a few plums off my own trees that were good, but not great. And I think it has a lot to do with the type of plum. This one is fantastic. Yeah. The problem is that there's just so much wrong with it. It just needs some help, man. This one's got mold on the inside. Let's try it from this side here. See, here's the thing. Whatever the heck this is, Tastes way different than the other one I just ate. I've had some plums that historically what they taste like is bubblegum. A lot of the Japanese plums taste like bubblegum to me. Santa Rosa, Satsuma. I even have a plum called bubblegum, I think. Yeah, these are just, I think, totally destroyed if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they look so good. It's just that I feel like if I ate this, I might get sick. Yeah, that's going, I think that's going towards wine if I'm not mistaken. One of these days, we'll get a good taste of these plums, I'll tell you that. So, not everything's perfect, guys. The plums, I think I may not be able to grow them organically. I have a feeling that's going to be the case. They are really getting attacked. And it's a real shame. I even netted them, but the net isn't big enough. I can't keep the birds out. I need to put another net on it. But I'm thinking, regardless, the amount of rot that's on them, the plum Cucurlio seems to really wreak havoc with the plums more than the peaches, that's for sure. I might just have to do that. Yeah. All right. Last up here to eat, peaches. I'll tell you what, guys, these are real good. We've done some peach videos now, and I am super impressed. I had some this morning. Oh yeah. So, if I had to rank everything, the fig is first, the peach is second, and the melons are third. Melons are just not sweet enough. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need more sunlight. But these peaches, man, I'm telling you, they're fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to be eating fruit basically all day. That's my diet right now. Let me show you guys some of these plants. Check out what the heck is going on back here. It's been a while. The melons, I went away. Before I went away, it rained a lot, and they started to get wilt. So what I started to do was actually cut off a lot of the leaves. I even took out an entire cucumber plant, but some of them look very healthy, which is good. We need to keep it like that. If this is, what is this down here? This is Grisolette. And that was Passport. Okay, so the Passport melon is actually getting wilt. So this is done. This is the only Passport melon I'm gonna get. Is this guy right here. Not very sweet, unfortunately. Alvaro is right here, I believe. And this guy looks perfect. He looks great. Not seeing any signs of wilt. It's gone up there. It's coming down now. That's, what is that, 8 feet tall at the top. And then the cucumbers are doing the same thing, but you know, as I pick these cucumbers here, by the way, I've picked so many cucumbers at this point. I've already made like 8 jars of pickles that are not the smaller ball jars. They're like the 32-ounce size. My cousin, by the way, here's some of the eggplants. My cousin asked me about a month ago for our family's pickle recipe. And he is a businessman, started a marketing company, it really took off. And he now is fell so in love with the pickles that I told him how to make. Gave him all the instructions, gave him the recipe. He made them and fell in love with them so much that he's starting a side pickle business. And I, by the way, have told you guys about these pickles before. I've talked about them, how to make them. We did a video, I think last year, actually, sharing you guys the recipe, or really how to pickle anything. It's quite simple. So some of these plants, you can see, they got a lot of wilt, and I even cut off the top of this one, and it's just getting chopped to bits. So, not good. The cucumbers, for whatever reason, the lanternflies love the cucumbers. They are making a mess, and also they just are relatively sad even after cutting out a lot of the foliage. So I said about, a couple years ago, I wouldn't grow these cucumbers next to these melons, and I think this year I said, screw it. But I haven't been putting silica on these plants. I have not really sprayed them as much as I should have. Really didn't spray them at all. I needed to spray the Dynagrow Protect, and I didn't. Would my results be any different? I don't know, but I'm gonna continue to spray just so I can prolong this as much as I can. Look at this bumblebee. Oh, he's dead. Oh my God, that's really sad. This poor guy. He died on a flower. He died on a cucumber flower. Wow. Has anyone ever eaten a bee before? Because I hear it's actually extremely good for you. No, I'm not going to eat the bee, guys. Don't worry. But if I was going to eat a bee, that would be the time, right? And then back over here, I have what is really very small eggplants. And, these guys really don't get the greatest of starts. At least everything this year didn't get the greatest start. We're not even in August, but I'm getting eggplants, which is fantastic. I mean, that's anyone's dream, I think, in this climate, if you're an eggplant fan. The tomatillos, I had to prop them up. They're getting way out of control. I'm gonna have to cut that out, I think. And yeah, so these melons, cucumbers, they're getting some wilt. Others look fine and healthy, and they're gonna continue to produce, and maybe we'll get some sweeter ones. Who knows? The tomatoes, they're looking pretty darn good. And there's some real special varieties in here, by the way. Look at my basil. Pretty soon I'm going to harvest for pesto, and I have a second crop coming, hopefully. I planted some seeds in succession. You can see these long finger tomatoes here. Unfortunately, have some blossom end rot on the bottom, so you got to take those off. What I need to do, because there is so much tomatoes in here, I've already put down a lot of calcium and magnesium, but I need to put down more. And that's going to help with that blossom end rot. Some of these are just gorgeous tomatoes. I mean, they have the stripes, the zebra look to them. Some of them have the nice looking tops. Some of them are very interesting colors, like this one here. We even have some beefsteaks ripening very soon. I'll tell you, I'm going to be swimming in tomatoes, like I said, very, very soon. It's going to be crazy to keep up with this. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm going away again this upcoming weekend. And then here are the peaches. They're all really turning color now, and getting to that size, and that smell is just insane. Some of them have rotted, and I've really been going through these trees and taking off the rotted ones because it's not good to keep them on. They will spread the disease further. It's hard to contain it, but you got to do the best you can. You can see there's some rot down there at the bottom. And I have some real beauts, really nice ones. There's some bird damage on that. And then I really do have some nice ones there at the top. They got some good color. I've already picked about maybe 250 of them. Just off of this one Red Haven tree. And what's gonna come after that is the Alberta. You can see how much further behind it is. They don't even have red blush to them right now. But we'll be there soon. And I'm not really in a rush because I have so many peaches. What am I gonna do with if all these trees are ripening at the same time? That's the beauty of it, right? It's the best part about this. So this garden has taken off. These melons, I really wish they were a bit sweeter. I don't know what to do. I think it could just very well be a lack of sunlight, and this garden doesn't get full sun. That's another thing that people just don't know about that I'm doing here. Not only are we growing in such a very small space, but I only get about 8 hours of light in this spot. If I had 15 or 14 or 12, I would take 12. These plants would take off way quicker. My garden would look even more insane than it does. I think maybe the spacing would have to change probably slightly. The more sun I had. Instead of a foot every tomato plant, maybe it's got to be more. I'm not sure. But I'll tell you, I think if I had 12 hours or even just a little bit more hours of light, that photosynthesis hitting these leaves would really produce the sugars that these melons need to get me a good crop of melons. Otherwise, I think I hope I'm not, but I think I might be banging my head against the wall with this. In that I will just never get very sweet melons grown in this spot, in this location, anywhere in my yard. There is nowhere I can put them really that gets more sun or more heat than they are right now. So I may have to move really before I can get myself a decent melon crop. I hope that's not true, but that's the reality I think I might be looking at. I have a Griselette down here, which is the Petite Grise de Rene, the best melon in the world. It's a hybrid of it. I spent a lot of money on seeds to grow this one, to taste it, to see if it would actually stand up to all the problems that this variety has, to see if I could even ripen it here and maybe have something reliable that has the same flavor. That's what it's really boasted to have. This Noir des Carmes, which is another one, is so small, so pathetic. It's so late to get going here. I have just doubts it'll do anything. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But this Griselette is gonna ripen for sure, and I'm really excited for that. So we'll see. We'll see what the deal is. So this was an interesting little episode here, guys, of Fruit Talk. Again, ups and downs. I'm glad that we're doing more of these. We took a while away from the podcast, but I think we should do more of them outside if I can, not in the wintertime. Do this outside. So we will see you guys soon, all right? Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for the next episode. If there's a particular fruit that you guys are interested in or a particular thing, we've talked about almost all of these at some point. And we've gone pretty in depth, but I would be interested at some point to kind of talk more about different things like that, like particular fruits, expand a little bit more on them. But I think really where I want to take the podcast in the future is interviews. Really get some other people on the podcast. Solo thing is not really what I want to do. So anyway, guys, that is fruit talk. I'm gonna end you guys with these nice Asian pears that I am particularly, this isn't disease, I just made a cut here, some summer pruning, but really good Asian pears I'm very much so looking forward to. All right guys, take care.